What's up, guys? Yankees run this town here, and for the third straight year, the Yankees fall short of winning the World Series or even making it to the Fall Classic. They get swept by the Detroit Tigers in 4 games, of course, in the ALCS, and the Tigers move on to the World Series, their second pennant in 6 years, and the Yankees head into an offseason that promises or should promise a lot of change. I don't want to talk about the offseason, just first and foremost. I want to, talk about the season as a whole. I am shocked, just shocked at the fact that the season's over, no matter what the Yankees did. It seemed like yesterday was opening day. It really did. I mean, this was the fastest season ever. It was unbelievable. It seemed it just a whole year passed now since the Yankees lost the ALDS to the Tigers last year, and that's just, I mean, wow, just completely shocking. Here we are in, now about the third week of October. The World Series is about to start. So, unfortunately, the Yankees aren't in it for my enjoyment. But, it was no surprise. This was how it was going to go when Derek Jeter was injured. The Yankees lost Game 1, and as well, they lost Derek Jeter. That kind of was the series right there. They weren't going to rebound without Derek Jeter. Statistically wise, he means a lot, but clubhouse wise, he means even more. And he truly leads the team. And we saw the Yankees just completely, out of sync and just completely out of it the whole series. Never really put up much of a fight. Their runners in scoring position problems just continued right on into the playoffs and ultimately cost them the ALCS. We should have seen this coming. I mean, we shouldn't have seen a sweep coming, but we should have seen, the Yankees not being able to win a World Series with this type of home run reliant offense. And many guys had historic playoff failures. I mean, playoff, numbers for the completely wrong reasons. Robinson Cano was the hottest hitter in baseball in the last 20 years, in the last 10 games of the season, about 700, I think. Got, I think, 3 or 4 hits in the entire postseason, and that's inexcusable. I mean, he has had, in 2010, 2011, he had great postseasons, was the only clutch hitter, but this year, he just completely, underperformed, and as George Girardi said it best, you just can't explain why a hitter that good and that talented couldn't come through, and not even, with runners in scoring position, with no one on base and whatever, he just didn't get the job done. Nick Swisher had a horrible postseason. Unfortunately for him, this definitely is the end. I don't see the Yankees bringing it back unless they offer him a 1-year deal just to get a draft pick and he accepts it. But the fans kind of turned on him, and I thought that was inexcusable. I have a bunch of rants coming up on the Yankee fans during the playoffs, Yankee Stadium, which kind of corresponds with that, but it'll be 2 separate videos. It was just pathetic. The fans really turned on Swisher. He's still one of my favorite players. Just has such a great attitude, and I know you don't want to see it when in the playoffs, but the fact that he still held his head high and smiled in the dugout after striking out. You don't want to. Mentally, when you think about strikeouts, you're going to strike out the next time. And, I guess Swisher didn't kind of change that thought. But I'm just saying he was always positive, and I enjoy, what he did for the Yankees in the last 4 years. Mark Teixeira hit fairly well in the ALDS for his postseason standards, but in the ALCS he was non-existent, not really a threat at all. And, Alex Rodriguez, of course. I'm nitpicking certain players, but I don't really. There's no true player who you can really blame. This was just a complete lineup failure, a complete hitting failure, and it falls on the shoulders of Kevin Long, and it falls on all the hitters 1 through 9, excluding Derek Jeter. But Alex Rodriguez, of course, did have a horrible postseason, but at the same time, I really don't blame him as much as others are. Of course, there's a big dilemma. There's a ton of drama going on, but I don't want to get into that. It's about strictly baseball right now. A-Rod is 37. He's not the same player. He's past his prime. He should have been counted on the least out of, the 4 or 5 hitters I've already mentioned. Curtis Granderson's another one before I forget. And because those guys are in their primes, they're 5, 6 years younger than him, and they still can't produce. A 37-year-old third baseman, former performance-enhancing drug user, if you didn't know the name of that guy, you'd probably say, oh, he's probably playing horrible. And he did. But it's the way it is. Even Alex Rodriguez, as legendary as he may seem, and as tainted as his resume may be, no drugs can save him at this point. No work can really save him at this point. He's a shot player. And, I mean, I don't blame him. That's just what happens when you get older. I never liked A-Rod, but I don't blame him for hitting poorly at this point in his career. You can't expect that. You can't expect him to be hitting game-tying home runs and game-winning home runs and getting hit after hit after hit. His contract, of course, is going to make fans think that. There's no other way around it. But when I'm watching a Yankee game, I'm not thinking how much a guy's making. If he's striking out, he's striking out. That's it. It doesn't matter how much he's making. Or how it's just, to me, it's just like, that's my opinion on it. But it was just a complete failure, and it was just really tough to watch. And I watched basically every single inning of every single game, excluding Game 5 of the ALDS. Ironically enough, that's the one game the Yankees actually had the most confidence and they actually celebrated. But so that's like freaking 90, 100 innings of baseball in the last 2 weeks. And I'm really tired out from it. But it was just tough to put that much effort into watching the games, making sure you watch the games, and to see that happen. It was unfortunate. I would have, if the series went 7 games and the Yankees lost, I'd be happy with it. At least they put up a true fight. If they lost in 6 games, I would have been happy with it, because they at least showed they had life. They just didn't show life at all. The lineup, of course, because the pitching was not the problem at all, and that's another big thing that really bothers me, is that this pitching was some of the best pitching out of all postseason teams this year, and some of the best pitching the Yankees have seen out of their team since they won all those multiple championships in the late 90s. CC was outstanding in his 2 starts, besides his 3rd, which was yesterday, but going on 3 days rest, you can't, I don't blame him. I don't. The Yankees weren't going to win the series anyway, even if he did dominate. Andy Pettitte fulfilled his comeback as far as the postseason is concerned. Well, not really. He didn't win a World Series, but he came back, he pitched great, 2 great games, really deserved the wins in both of those games. Yankees couldn't give it to him. He looked really sharp, and it was just great. I saw, I'm following the Yankees on Facebook and Twitter or whatever, and they posted a status when Pettitte was starting Game 1, just Andy Pettitte on the mound for the Yankees in October. This was the caption. It just feels so right. It just truly does. And that was great to see. Kuroda really paid off. Made both of his starts were great. There's not much really to bash about this pitching. The bullpen was not perfect, but should have been good enough for the Yankees to win. With all the opportunities they have with runners in scoring position, a bunch of games the Yankees should have won in blowouts, yet they lost by 1 run or 2 runs. This is definitely the toughest postseason loss I've had to swallow in my memory as a Yankee fan, my life as a Yankee fan. I don't want to talk about the offseason too much, but change better happen, and I think a lot of change is needed. I'll make a bunch of more videos about the offseason coming up. A lot of decisions to make, a lot of rants for me to make, because they really had an issue with a lot of things for the Yankees this year. But at the same time, to end on a positive note, the Yankees lost. I actually have it written down here. If you just give me a second. Listen to this list of guys the Yankees lost throughout the season due to injury. They came back. Most of them came back, but Java, Michael Pineda, Brett Gardner, Mariano Rivera for the season, David Robertson, CC for about a month, combining both DL stints, Andy Pettitte for 3 months, A-Rod for 2 months, Mark Teixeira for probably around 2 months, considering all the time he missed periodically, Derek Jeter, of course, in the playoffs, and I don't know if you consider this an injury, but Phil Hughes, of course, in Game 3 of the ALCS. That's just amazing. That's an amazing list. Those are that team, right? Those names right there alone are an all-star team. It's unbelievable. And the Yankees still rallied around those injuries. They won 95 games, had the best record in baseball, had the #1 seed, the best record in the American League, not baseball, and they still had all those injuries. The Yankees proved to me that life does go on after Mariano Rivera. Rafael Soriano did an incredible job filling in for him, as I thought he would. There were a lot of bright spots on the team, no doubt about it. Derek Jeter seemed to be passing legends on the hits, all-time hits list, and a bunch of other statistics all year long. as well, he had an amazing year, probably one of the best seasons of his career, if not the best, considering all the circumstances surrounding him. Um, I mean, Andy Pettitte came back, and that was unbelievable. He pitched great. Wants to come back in 2013. Um, Nick Swisher had probably one of the best seasons as a Yankee in the regular season. This whole team collectively did a really solid job from April to September. Um, and it was just in October where it just, I don't know if it's age, I don't know if it's flat out, mentality or flat out thought process, but the Yankees fell short in October, but really, they really shouldn't have. I didn't want to say they could win the World Series. I never predicted they would, but I really thought they really could have. I never made a predictions video for the ALCS, but I was originally saying Yankees in 6. I really believed it. I felt that the Yankees could have been jump started by winning the ALDS, and getting hot and possibly hitting better. And I thought if they just hit better, literally, if they just hit better, a little bit better, the Yankees are still playing today. Whether it's leading the series, down in the series, they would have won at least a couple games already, in my opinion. So, another tough playoff loss for the Yankees, probably the toughest they've had to suffer in quite a while. Mike Francesa, say what you want about him, but he's experienced a lot of baseball, and he said this is probably the worst postseason loss he's experienced in his life. That's saying something, considering he said he experienced a '63 World Series when they lost in 7 to the Pirates. Or I don't think that wasn't the Pirates series. My bad. 1976 getting swept by the Reds. This is the first Yankee sweep in a 7-game series since then, and their first sweep in general since 1980, I believe. So, Yankees made a lot of history in October this year, but all for the wrong reasons. And that's just pretty much it, guys. Yankees, as I said, they won the AL East, best record in the American League. Won the ALDS, but as the boss put it, rest in peace, George. But as the boss put it, it's World Series or bust every year, and that's just the mentality Yankees and Yankee fans have. And like it or not, that's what they're going to try to do every year is win the World Series. And you just simply can't do it every year. But I still have confidence in the Yankees. This is what I wore today all day. I had a Yankee sweatshirt on, Yankee hat. I'm always a Yankee fan. Always proud to be a Yankee fan. And just about 164 days till opening day. So that's something to look forward to. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll be here during the off season. Thanks for following me during the playoffs. Very tough one for me to record and cover on camera, but at least you guys know that I'm always there whatever the Yankees are doing. So thanks for watching. Go Yankees. I'm going to the Giants game on Sunday against the Redskins, so that's something to look forward to. And go Cardinals. So I want to win the World Series over the Tigers, and potentially tonight could go back to the World Series. And I think that's incredible considering how they lost Albert Pujols. Hate for it to be the wild card team because Bud Selig is just going to look in our faces and say, look how great the new playoff system is, but they really earned it. And, congratulations to them. So thanks for watching, and I'll make plenty more videos coming up in the next couple weeks.